The ancient world hides techniques that outperform many modern systems, and today I'm breaking down one of the most overlooked ones from the Nile Valley. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to Warpaths of Europe so you don't miss any of these deep-cut survival insights drawn straight from history's battlefield archives. Let's get right into the method without dragging out explanations or side stories. The method begins with understanding how Egyptians use sealed microclimates. Egyptians relied on deliberate microenvironments rather than open-air storage. They built thick clay or mud brick chambers with narrow entrances that restricted airflow while stabilizing temperature swings. These were not general granaries. They were small controlled cells designed to hold specific foods like grains, dried fish, and even rendered fats. The key was the stable humidity. Nile humidity outside fluctuated all year, but inside these cells moisture hovered at a stable low, which reduced spoilage dramatically. Anyone today can recreate this principle by using thick-walled clay jars placed inside a larger container or shed, creating that double-layered climate buffer. A detail most people overlook is how Egyptians manipulated oxygen levels. They filled storage jars to the top, tamped the contents down, and sealed them with mud mixed with resin. This created a low-oxygen environment where weevils, moths and larvae couldn't survive. This wasn't luck. It was controlled suffocation of pests. You can apply this today by filling grain buckets completely, using airtight lids, and adding a thin layer of edible clay or wax as a final seal. Even without oxygen absorbers, this technique cuts infestation rates drastically. The technique relied on layered dehydration rather than simple drying. Egyptians didn't rely on sun-drying alone. They pre-dried foods, then stored them in compartments lined with crushed natron, the natural mineral blend used in mummification. Natron absorbed lingering moisture without touching the food directly. Dried meats, figs, dates or onions lasted far longer because of this secondary drying phase. Modern survivalists can replicate this by storing dried foods in a container inside a larger bin lined with salt or homemade desiccant. The food never contacts the salt, it just shares the environment, extending its shelf life. Egyptians stabilized oils and fats by embedding containers in cool earth. Rendered fats and certain oils were stored in sealed pots, buried partially in shaded ground to prevent thermal cycling. Heat cycling, not heat itself, spoils fats fastest. Egyptians broke that cycle by using the earth as a natural temperature regulator. Today, you can bury sealed jars or buckets in a shaded area of your yard or use an insulated underground pit for long-term fat storage, keeping contents stable even in seasonal extremes. Applying the method today requires combining all four elements. A clay-style microclimate, oxygen restriction, layered dehydration, and thermal stability form the full method. Set up a small shed or root cellar-style enclosure. Use clay or thick-wall substitutes. Seal foods fully. Add a hidden dehydration layer. Protect fat stores underground. And you end up with a system that mirrors what kept ancient Egyptian rations stable during war campaigns and long river expeditions. If you want more forgotten methods like this, subscribe to Warpaths of Europe and share this guide with someone who values real historical survival knowledge.